my friends say, girl, you better take care.
Still community, how are we doing this evening? I got something I need to show you guys how this progressive communism works. You know, Mamdani is over in New York now, one of the largest cities in America. Newsom is in California. Pritzker is in Chicago. All blue states, and all turning against the laws of the land, creating chaos and small-time Armageddons in each city. A man that gets in there that wants to stop ICE, wants to defund police, and put socialists in there with nightsticks, walking around talking to people, letting prisoners out of jail, legalizing prostitution. This is what y'all voted for? And what do you think the offspring of this is going to turn out to be? Kids are going wild already. And this is a serious film. If you're parents and you love kids, I want all of y'all to look at it, admonish it, think about it, and get on your knees and pray about it. Because this is demoralizing. I mean, the Democrats are doing a heck of a job demoralizing our youth. That's black, that's white, Oriental, Somalians, I don't care, Hawaiians. Most of our crime now is by teenagers. So a lot is starting to happen now below the teenage, 8, 9, 10. Because that's all they see. We need to slap them upside the head, Crockett says. We need to slap the dude out of that one. We need to kick this one. They're racist. They're fascists. Kids are smart now. All they do is play with computers. They understand everything you're saying. So you turn and alienated another innocent group of people where murder should be on y'all's hands for what you're doing. Let's take a look at this guy. And this is who they picked. And I'm going to run on through to the last narrative thing. And please watch the videos all the way through. Because you know, Big Daddy like to give it to you like it is and show you what this type of capitalism leads to. Let's take a look at it.
You can't make this up.
Congratulations, New York. You just elected a man who promised that he was going to pay all your bills using the money from anyone who makes over $1 million a year. So before we fast forward to the oops, we're broke part of the story, let's talk some numbers. Currently, there are roughly 80 to 90,000 millionaires that live in New York City, and about 125 billionaires. And between those two groups, they already cover about 48% of all of the city income taxes. But now, Mamdani would like to jack up their taxes another 2%, as well as hike up corporate rate taxes on top of it. And y'all are all out here thinking that he sounds like Robin Hood. But here's what's actually happening. 10 to 15% of those millionaires are already planning to leave. Another 10 to 15% of the billionaires are shifting residency or moving operations out of the city. And another 3 to 5% of major companies are preparing to relocate entirely. Sorry, I left my crayons at home for this one, but that is a guesstimated $1.3 to $2.4 billion in lost tax revenue every single year. And when that money walks out the door, the city is not going to be chasing the rich. It's going to be chasing you. Because when the top leaves, the bill always trickles down. So when your rent starts to climb and your city taxes rise and your grocery bill goes up again, It's not because the rich got greedier. It's because your mayor ran the investors, the jobs, and the tax base out of town. And the only thing that's left to tax them is you.
See, she's making a lot of sense. She just enlightened you on what's going to happen. And the fulfilled dreams this guy's had, and he said he's going to do, they're already falling through. You riding the subway free yet? Are you riding on the buses free yet? When Donald Trump got in the White House, they wanted things to happen that day. And he said he was going to do all this that day. One thing that is happening, people are getting the heck out of there. So it's all going to fall to you. A lot of you people who voted for him can't leave New York. You got no money. You're what we call the 3%ers. You ain't got $500 to your name to pick up and move. Moving truck. $4,000 to $5,000 to put down on an apartment to move to Florida. The gas is going to cost you what, $1,500, $1,600? It's a moving truck. You can't pull a big U-Haul behind your little Toyota. It's going to be screaming and overheating before it get past New Jersey. So you're stuck like Chuck. And you're going to keep paying. But you voted for it. And don't be on here like the rest of these people crying about, I can't pay my bills. I don't have no money. This is going wrong. I'm sick of everybody crying about what they ain't got. And this is happening. That's happening. America is spoiled. Let's take a look at this.
No, the world is a scary place right now. The guy that y'all just elected in New York City, Zoran Mamdani, I might be saying his name incorrectly. There's so much. It's like the world doesn't have discernment. It's like, do y'all have discernment? This is about to be Dearborn, Michigan all over again. Are y'all understanding that there are prophetic things that are taking place? I literally have done videos on how the rise of the Islam nation is taking place in America. I can't stress it enough. I know y'all like to think that everything is political and everything is a fight for our rights. It is not. This is a full-on spiritual war. When this happened, when they elected him and whoever y'all voted for him, I need y'all to understand that this was a spiritual signal, number one, to the Christians. He is now over one of the wealthiest cities in America, one of the largest cities in America. I also think it's interesting that there is a high amount of Jews other than Israel that is in New York City. The number of Muslim Americans that are in public office, even now, when we talk about local, state, federal levels, is increasing, and we're seeing this in Minnesota, we're seeing it in Dearborn, Michigan, and other places. In fact, Dearborn had a situation where they were trying to invoke the Sharia law, and if we are not having the Spirit of God and discernment with what we see is going on in the world as Christians, as believers, we're going to miss it. Pretty soon we will be getting persecuted just like everybody else in other countries. It is happening even now in other countries. Look at Nigeria. It is happening, and they are not even reporting this stuff on the news because they don't want you to know that religion is on the rise. But they had a loudspeaker in Dearborn, and they were it was being used by a mosque for a call to prayer, and it was disturbing a lot of people who were Christians and people who believed other things. It kind of started to become a problem where they were complaining. y'all not understanding that Sharia law is going to be a real thing as we move and escalate towards the tribulation, as we escalate towards the real end times that we are seeing. And I'm not trying to make you be fearful, but you need to open up your eyes. That was not by chance. What we seen was a spiritual signal that took place in New York. You don't have to believe me, and y'all can think I'm back crazy. But every time I come on this app, the Lord shows me things, and it happens. I told y'all that government was not going to open back up. I've been telling y'all all along. I even had a dream about the Mahdi. It's pinned at the top. It's on my page. I had a dream. The Lord told me the Mahdi was the AC. This happening is not by chance. We need to literally buckle down. As Christians, we need to be covering each other in prayer because things are coming. It's just in the works right now. We may not see it now, but it's in the works, literally. And respectfully, everything that he's talking about completely goes against the Word of God. And if it goes against the Word of God, I cannot. For me in my house, I will serve the Lord. I can't come into agreement with those things. So, on both ends, and we're speaking on both ends. I'm not a supporter of the principle at all. I want that to be known. I got it real quick. But these people are working together for the system that they need to invoke into this world. We're talking about world now. We're not talking about the country. These people are working together. It is an agenda for the entire world. And it is the AC spirit. And part of the AC spirit, it aligns biblically with the things that are going to be implemented. It aligns biblically with this religion. Look it up. It ain't nothing I'm making up. The beheading, so many different things that the Bible mentions, it directly aligns with this religion. In fact, I have not been the only one that has had a prophetic dream about the Mahdi being the AC. Just look it up. We are in the moment of critical and spiritual signals that God is showing us. It is a sense of rebellion that is in the land. And we are accepting any and everything. Because now we had our wits in with the principle. He has worn all of us out, okay? He has drained our lives, okay? Well, nothing him and that party got anything to do with. So now this is what we got. This is what we got because of his butt. We are heading towards the great day of judgment. I need y'all to realize we're here at the great day. We are heading there. Things are aligning, and this was not by chance. I just need y'all to know.
You know what? Y'all know I get on here and I talk to y'all about Jehovah God all the time. And what she's saying is true. One thing I disagree with. She said the great day is coming. People, it's not coming. It's here in front of us. All of that in New York, I totally agree, is by design. Bible tells you that's going to happen. My lady once told me that America will be taken over by not picking up one gun. Not one gun. It's happening. They ain't got to fight. They ain't got to say nothing. He go out there and do a little shuffle, do a little rap dance for y'all, and say he a rapper. Man, y'all fall into it. Just flocking over him. Oh, Mamdani, 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 my honey. See, he had his ugly wife up there on stage, praising her, his whole family. He ain't have one Democrat person up there with him. He ain't have one black up there with him, one white up there with him. And he's shooting words, hatred words at Donald Trump. And he's already reversed what he said he's going to do. This man's 34 years old. Never been in Congress. Never even been in America 10 years. And y'all giving the biggest city in the land. And she's right. These people have been slaughtering, not killing, slaughtering people. When she talks about the beheading, Islam is what does that. They kill mercifully. And like over in the Middle East, when they were killing the troops, dragging them down the street, that's what we got running America now. That dude in Boston, Islam, ain't got no love for America. Omar, Islam, ain't got no love. She tell you, ain't got no love for America. I know people may not like what I say. No other country is letting foreigners infiltrate their government like we're doing. And our kids are no longer listening to us. Democrats have taken that over. If you stood up in the school when those sick Biden was in there, they took parents to jail because they stood up and didn't agree with what the teachers were teaching in the school. My son had a big problem with that. Come home and told her dad she thinks she can be a man. Oh, he went off. He went off. I thought I was have to go up there and calm him down. Don't get yourself put in jail. You're supposed to be teaching her math, English, history, reading, arithmetic. He didn't even know that was going on. But you're teaching her how to be gay. Where does that fit in teaching your child? All Democratic. And it's ruining the kids. They are ruined. Whites, blacks, Mexican, Puerto Rican, Islam kids already got hatred in them. Indian, hate. And mark my word, I heard it from Big Papa. I told y'all, and I'm telling you what, God chose me, and I feel it. The takeover is done already. Like I told you, my lady told me that America would be taken over without picking up one gun. And people, we there. It's so sad. I want to let Trump say something here. And please watch this to the end, y'all. Let's check him out. Okay? Let's listen what Donald Trump's got to say. And like I said, I'm going to end this on a rough note. Y'all listen to it because I think it's beneficial.
After last night's results, the decision facing all Americans could not be more clear. We have a choice between communism and common sense. If you want to see what congressional Democrats wish to do to America, just look at the result of yesterday's election in New York, where their party installed the communists as the mayor. Now the Democrats are so extreme that Miami will soon be the refuge for those fleeing communism in New York City. They flee. After last night's results, the decision facing all Americans could not be more clear. We have a choice between communism and common sense.
He's the
Communist, not socialist, communist. He's far worse than a socialist.
Some people have compared him to a left-wing version of you.
Well, I think I'm a much better looking person than him, right? The Mamdani thing is it's a disaster waiting to happen. When you have a communist man, I think it's going to be very tough for him and for the city.
Mr. President, your beloved New York City Your beloved New York City may well be led by a communist soon, Zoran Mamdani, who in his nomination speech said he will defy ICE and will not allow ICE to arrest criminal aliens in New York City. Your message to communist Zoran Mamdani?
Well, then we'll have to arrest him. We don't need a communist in this country, but if we have one, I'm going to be watching over him very carefully on behalf of the nation. A lot of people are saying he's here illegally. He's, we're going to look at everything, and ideally, he's going to turn out to be much less than a communist. But right now, he's a communist. That's not a socialist. After last night's results, the decision.
Look at y'all. I have to say I agree with President Trump too. Man, y'all have stepped into a big bowl of doo-doo. There's only one way to describe that. And it ain't no cherry on top. Usually you climb all the way up to the top and you get that cherry. Ain't no cherry there for you. It just stinks. Pure daredevil. And to all my audience out there and to everyone, please, please, please understand what's transpiring, what's happening. Please. Because this is cold nature that's going to be coming at us. If we don't at least get on our P's and Q's and try and get ahead of this thing, y'all need to go ahead and let President Trump go ahead and do a nuclear thing on this thing. Get rid of the filibuster so he can get things going, wake up. And, I was told that I need to read something to you again. And it's very important how Congress can lie to you. They never get charged for it. They absolutely have immunity from criminal prosecution or civil suits that stem from acts taken within the legislature. Article 1-S6.C1.3.1. Get a chance, read this and overview the speech of it. So they can tell you anything, like Schumer's getting up there lying through his teeth. I looked that up for us. You guys can fact check it yourself. I wrote it down so I can keep it. Because every time I hear something, I know. I see him one on time, how can he just lie to his teeth like that? I mean, if you come to Congress and lie to them, that's perjury. But if you're part of Congress, just like the filibuster, I think it's Article 16 too, they need to get rid of. There's so many laws they created that need to be gone. So every time a congressman lie to you, guess what? You can take care of them and they can lose their job. They shouldn't have the right to outright lie to the public. But this is what's happening to our young people. And YouTube, I hope they understand what I'm trying to get through here with the channel. But just listen to this, people.
Kids were capable of doing something so evil. So this 5-year-old girl, her name is Amari Jones, is living in Cleveland, Ohio. And one afternoon, her mother, Octavia, needed someone to babysit her just for a couple of hours because she was going to go out of the house and run a few errands. So she decides to drop off Amari at a family member's house, knowing that she was going to be safe. So she brings Amari over and Octavia leaves. And at first, everything was going perfectly fine. Amari is outside, hanging around, playing like kids her age are supposed to do. Until these 3 other kids show up. And I know that sentence doesn't sound scary on its own because, hello, we're talking about kids here, but that is what makes this story so stomach-turning. Because these weren't adults in disguise or strangers lurking in these creepy vans or anything that we've been taught to watch out for. These are literally children. So it was 2 boys who were 8 and 9 and then 1 girl who was 10 years old. And they walk up to Amari and they're like, hey, do you want to be friends? And Amari, she's like, oh my god, like these kids seem so cool and they're nice. They're older than me too, so that means that I can be with the cool kids now. So of course we could be friends. But unfortunately, these kids had another plan in their sinister little minds. So the 10-year-old girl, she starts talking to Amari like she's genuinely being kind. Like she actually wants to play. And if you're 5 years old and someone is bigger than you, cooler than you, and wants to hang out with you, that is the ultimate validation. It's like getting chosen for the secret club of cool kids. So when this girl reaches her hand out and says, hey, do you want to play with us? Amari does not hesitate. She happily grabs her hand and walks with them to this really secluded area deep in the woods that was about a quarter mile away from the house. And once they're there, Amari, who's probably still clueless and wanting to play, doesn't even realize that these 3 devils just completed phase 1 of their trap. Get her away from the adult. Because now they can do what they really came there to do, and no one will hear her cry for help or scream. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you what they did to her, but I'm gonna have to tell you a version that my heart can find a way to say out loud, because the real details they're not just horrifying, like they're the kind of thing that makes you want to leave the planet and then burn it. These monsters start attacking Amari over and over again until she falls unconscious. And please take note that it takes a lot of pain for you to be able to fall unconscious. They then urinate all over her and they start pulling out chunks of her hair, throwing her everywhere, beating on her, and then they take off her clothes. They wrap it around her neck and they use it to her. And to really be as evil as humanly possible, well, I'm not even sure if these kids are considered human, but they then decide to SA her with sticks. Like, yes, wooden sticks, and they're putting it in areas that you don't even want to imagine. And again, let me remind you, these are 3 kids, children that are 8, 9, and 10 years old. I mean, genuine question, what kind of world are we living in where the threat isn't some grown man in a creepy van, but 3 kids who are still learning multiplication? Like, what happened to make them capable of this kind of cruelty? I have to ask, where the hell are their parents? And then, as if this wasn't already a nightmare that no one should ever have to imagine, they just leave her there, lying on the dirt in these woods, completely naked. And then back at the house, the family member that was supposed to be watching Amari suddenly realized, oh my god, where is she? And she starts panicking, immediately looking around and checking everywhere in the house, yelling out her name and asking a whole bunch of people if they've seen her, but everyone is like, no, I haven't seen her, but she was just here. So the family member starts walking up and down the neighborhood, still calling out Amari's name, and as she's walking around looking left and right, up and down, she sees these 2 boys, and she's thinking, okay, maybe these 2 innocent looking kids saw Amari. So she goes up to them and asks, maybe in her calm baby voice like we all use when talking to kids, hey, have y'all seen a little girl named Amari? She's yay tall with black hair. And these 2 boys, they stare at her as calm as can be, and they tell her no, and so they just keep on playing. Now, in that moment, what this family member did not know was that these 2 boys she just questioned were the 8 and 9-year-old boys who helped kidnap Amari and then attack her in the woods. And so after a while, this family member had looked everywhere, and still, they could not find Amari. So she finally decided to pull out her phone and call the cops. But even with the help of the police, no one was able to find Amari. And then at some point, maybe it was guilt or some kind of miracle, but one of the boys that helped kidnap Amari decided to tell his mom what happened in that field. Now listen, I don't fully believe in physical punishments, but that little boy needs the belt ASAP, maybe even worse. All 3 of them do. Anyways, after hearing this devastating news, the mother forces this little boy to go back to Amari's family member and tell the truth about what he had done to Amari and where she is. And soon enough, the 2 boys and their mother took everyone to this wooded, overgrown field, and lying there on the ground was Amari, completely unconscious and covered in dirt and blood. And seeing Amari like that, like this family member just starts screaming, this agonizing scream, and running straight towards her, immediately lifting her off of the ground and rushing her back home. And not long after that, the ambulance arrived to the scene, but before they could even load her into the truck, Amari's mother arrived, only to see her daughter completely covered in so many bruises and injuries and marks. And as you could probably imagine, she was devastated. Like, she could not believe what she was seeing. This is quite literally every mother's worst nightmare. But Ontavia didn't really have time to even process what was happening, because the ambulance had to leave and rush Amari to the hospital. Because right now, every second that they wasted was a chance that Amari could not have survived. And so once they arrived at the emergency room, all these doctors start doing everything as quickly as possible to stabilize her condition. But she was in such a critical state that she actually stayed in the hospital for a whole entire week. And when Amari finally managed to regain some consciousness, she wakes up and starts screaming, "They killed me, they killed me," over and over and over again, which is just so sad to think about, because she had experienced such a traumatic event that she had literally thought she died, and she thought she was still dead. That is a truly so heartbreaking. I can't even imagine a 5-year-old girl thinking this. As of right now, I'm pretty sure that the 8 and 9-year-old boys are being charged, although I couldn't find a reliable source telling me if that was true. But if you know more about it, then please let me know. And as always, I do have to ask you, what do you guys think? Do these kids deserve jail time, or are they too young?
Stealth community, I'm going to close this out. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. And let's watch what we're doing and put people in places that'll protect our kids. See you guys later.
Thank you.